Post-edit Duncan here. This podcast episode was recorded pretty much an entire year ago and then was not touched afterwards. Um, the reason why it was recorded and it is different from previous episodes is stated, but yeah, it is entirely my bad that this did not get released, and that will not happen again. No worries. I will not be editing any more of these, so have fun with this. Welcome, welcome to episode 3. Um, this episode's a little different. We have not posted an episode in several months, but that's okay. This episode is very different because instead of coming back to this podcast because, oh no, we didn't upload for a while, we're coming back to this podcast because I'm doing it for a college project. Um, so that's probably why it seems a little bit different from usual. Um, However, we are still talking about things that we feel strongly about, so it's, kind of on brand. We're talking about Disney because we have very strong opinions on Disney and just generally, mostly about its international business practices and its home business practices in the US, things that we just disagree with, things that we think kind of sucks about the shit it does to, you know, other competitors and to its customers, which we don't like. So the things that well, we don't like Disney customers either. But um, Nick, you want to start? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's become increasingly evident over the course of this last decade that Disney is becoming larger than I think what all of us grew up presuming they would be. I mean, everybody kind of, when you think of Disney, you have a very different idea in your head. You have the idea that this is a company that primarily makes children's content or other, family-friendly content. Not a conglomerate that owns 20th Century Fox and is responsible for such a large proportion of the movie market and just entertainment in general. It's truly astounding how much they've grown.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just kind of on that note too, uh, Disney mergers. I have no idea if that was a thing specifically that we were going to talk about, but
I
I want
think
to
I think
touch
it's
on it.
important. Yeah, Disney mergers.
It's very important because what Disney's done is they've since like I believe it's 1993 they merged with Miri Max Films, and then they continued to I think they acquired Pixar in 2006. Marvel Entertainment 2009, Comcast's remaining third of Hulu in 2023, which is the most recent one, I believe, and just a bunch of other companies, and they're becoming like a monopoly. They borderline already are a monopoly in the entertainment industry,
Yeah.
and we could talk about the quality, but that would get derailed really fast.
Yeah,
of
we
their
can we can we
productions.
can save that for like later.
Get into
We'll
a lot
save
of
that one
We'll
for
we'll
later,
save that
but
for like way later.
yeah.
But I mean, the thing is like it's a very they're it's a very predatory strategy that they're doing. Um, not just here in the U.S. where they're like you said they're buying out. They're doing mergers with 20th Century Fox and Marvel and Pixar and all that shit. But
Pixar and
the
Lucasfilm.
other
That's
thing
another
is
one.
that like because they have footholds in foreign countries, right? Like namely China, France, stuff like that. But then any technically anywhere with Disney Plus available is
Hmm.
also a place they have foothold in, which was another thing I was going to bring up. It's like they have Disney Plus available in like 80 different countries, which is their streaming service that people probably consume most of their like film content from, I would imagine.
Are we going to at all be able to discuss is politics of Disney off the table or? Is that gonna be? Because I think
Probably.
that
Well,
that does
I
play
think
into a
I
lot.
think I think there's some cases where we can, and we'll definitely save a lot of that for later. Um, but I think there's some cases where like there is a direct correlation between why Disney does some of their really like shady, weird
actually,
practices and stuff. Um, I mean, there was a thing in here about some censorship. I have in here in like my notes about a situation where Mulan got some sort of censorship or backlash from the CCP because of they mentioned some. I'm gonna put it on screen because I'm
oh,
gonna
if we're gonna
botch
talk
it,
about
but
censorship, yeah, no.
censorship is one of the really big issues that Disney has. But the other thing I was going to touch on was like before we get to that, that kind of relates to what we were
hmm
talking about initially, is that um the problem with Disney having such a huge like foothold in foreign markets is that it essentially, for lack of a better term, curb stomps any similar quote unquote competitor that could rise up in those foreign countries because it's so big and it's so powerful, and there's kind of essentially no way for anything from a different country to compete. Like I can't think of anything. Any
I mean, the second that they get too big, they get bought
Yeah,
anyways.
they
Yeah,
either get bought out or they get like crushed under the weight of Disney's
So it's
freaking
like they're
power.
technically allowed to continue existing, but they have to be Disney to continue
Yeah,
living.
they're not going to get anywhere if they don't die or fall under that umbrella. Like it's um
yeah.
Well, and it's worthy of note too that with the, I think particularly, though it would initially seem like one of the lessers in comparison to like something like Comcast or some of these larger acquisitions, just having the MCU, the direction, and I can speak to this because um, I have family who works in like the theater business, that the proportion of people that are coming to the theater for smaller movies like they would have done 2 decades ago is significantly lessened. And in some sense, you're even seeing audiences being trained to only come to what they would call like event films. So like films that, you need to keep up with this series, or they're just this, massive budget blockbuster. The acquisition of the Marvel franchise, which for the last decade has made up usually like several spots within the top five highest grossing movies of all time. They're absolutely dominating like the theater space to the point where I even like with the amount you're making per ticket, Disney actually has special negotiations with theaters because they know they can get away with it. That other film studios have to give away a certain percentage of the ticket, whereas Disney gives away a vanishingly small percentage of the tickets because they know that the sales of even concessions due to people coming to see their films are going to be so vast that they actually have that negotiating power.
um
And kind of like you said, with it squashing smaller competitors, it got to a point, or is kind of getting to a point where most. Oh God, I'm not gonna say that. I couldn't find that like off
We
rip.
we actually quite literally saw this firsthand. Not being political at all by saying this, but whenever we went to watch the Matt Walsh film, how there was literally one singular other fucking person in the entire theater.
Beep. Oh yeah, no. Um,
Sorry, that's my filler word. I like that word.
it's a
oh,
funny filler
it
word.
doesn't matter. It
No,
doesn't matter.
I could say I would also say with the Matt
Yeah.
Welsh one, certain people probably were more detracted just because of how divisive it
Well,
is.
yeah, I mean it is divisive,
It's
but
true.
I've
But I
also been
wonder.
to like other movies
I
where
would
it's
like to
been
see the
very
stat on
similar
how
experience.
many films. Well, mainly children films. I don't know how many children films are really made anymore that isn't by Disney and or Pixar, but Pixar's owned by Disney, so it doesn't.
I mean, there's Illumination, but I mean that
Uh,
kind of
yeah,
it feels like it's almost also just as big.
yeah.
It's not obviously not as big, but like still really really big. So it's like the main two.
And I mean, on the front of them buying it and them being less effective, I guess we could look at the Acolyte and how it failed. Snow White, the new Snow White that's coming out, no one's receptive to that at all. It looks like
Yeah,
it will
it
be a
feels
flop
like
already.
Yeah, it feels like a preemptive fail. They're like
Yeah,
teeing it up to fail.
Yeah, I looked at. Actually, I'll open the YouTube video right now for it. It has their target audience that I would assume would even watch Snow White isn't, because it's kind of a film for nobody. But without getting into too much opinions, looking at the Snow White trailer.
One could make the case, though, that even like devoid of politics, there's clearly some reason. I mean, I would argue it's political, obviously, but not to get into that. Clearly, they are comfortable taking massive losses that I would say if you weren't in a position of massive power and influence, you probably would not be comfortable taking. I mean, we like laugh at these movies like Snow White and everything that seems to be, like Michael said, a movie for nobody. But the reality is that hundreds of millions of dollars are going to be spent on those movies that seemingly have very little chance. And I would say something other than Disney would never tolerate that kind of
Well, they have other
waste.
things to fall back on too. I mean, they think of like Disney World and like their theme parks and stuff. And this goes
They
vice
can
versa,
burn
by the
money
way.
without
What you
worry.
said about them, like they have enough room to like set up to fail and stuff. This goes vice versa between their content that they produce and their theme parks and such. Because if you and I checked this, I didn't actually know this until gathering information and research for this. But when the Walt Disney like place in France, the Disneyland Paris, when that opened in 1992, it was just a colossal financial failure. Like it did not attract nearly enough visitors. It resulted in like billions of dollars lost. It had to be rescued by a bunch of banks, basically, like a consortium of banks. I don't actually. Is it still a thing? I doubt it. I haven't heard it be. I didn't find anything about it being closed down, but let me actually look.
Well, and yeah,
Disneyland
you could
Paris.
easily make the argument there that
They have
these
what I was getting to with that is that they, in the same way that if they churn out really terrible like content, like move films and cartoons and stuff that like are not received well, think about how many billions they're getting out of just like Disney World and Disneyland here in the US and places like
Yeah, they have a
Shanghai,
century of good
China,
IPs to
where
fall
they
back
have
on.
all of that. Like it's and similarly in the reverse, like they had enough from not only their films and such, but also the Disney World and Disneyland here in the US to fall back on when Disneyland Paris uh went haywire and everything did not work out there. Apparently it's open every day of the year. So it's still open. It's not closed down, but
Well,
well, and I
it
think
just
this is the
wasn't
thing with a
received
lot
well when it
of
opened.
this acquisition talk is like, at what point, what percentage of the Western cultural corpus are you comfortable with Disney owning? Like, we again, it's like kind of one of those jokes. Like, you make fun of all these reboots and all of this acquisition of a century's worth of good ideas. How much of the unique cultural contributions to film and television are you comfortable with Disney owning? Or even fairy tales and the like.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I can just get back to it. I opened up the Disney Snow White trailer, and it, like, I would love to talk about this movie solely because of how much drama it's had, but just because that would take up the entire video. It has 748K dislikes to 30K likes.
Oh,
And
Wow.
though it might
Good
be
lord.
because of analytics,
Good
every
lord.
single comment is just dragging this thing through the mud. And what's really odd is you see it's not even just this. It's not like one or two flops. You have this one that, like the most recent one, Snow White, that's going to be a flop. You had Wish, which was a flop. You had basically any CGI movie. I don't think we've ever seen one do particularly well.
I mean, you'd think that they'd kind of learned their lesson at this point. I feel like I remember
Dude,
like the new
Lightyear,
live action Little Mermaid
let's
being
see.
bad as well.
Lightyear was bad.
Well,
Actually, I don't know
with
if
those
it was financially.
with those live action
Oh,
reboots, I think
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones
New
did very
Indiana
poorly.
90% of these live action ones are doing very, very, very.
They're doing very poorly
Yeah.
critically, but are they doing poorly financially?
Financially, that's like what I'm trying to find out on.
Let me look up the box
know
office for
Ye-
like.
Which was their like new princess movie? Wish, make or lose.
Well, and honestly, Wish brings up another good point too, which is
Oh yeah, they lost an estimated $131 million on Wish
the
alone.
live action remake of The Little Mermaid. Despite its critical lack of success, the global box office was 570 million.
So it made the money in that case.
Yeah, or over six. Yeah, over seven. Yeah. But this also goes into another point, which is one could also kind of see how this could be toxic to the culture in some sense, because if you have a diverse number of companies that are producing your art, all of which are kind of in that conversation between the artist and what the public wants. That is, I think, how you see a lot of like the greatest films of all time being made, because there has to be some. You have the artist that is obviously going to be very important, and they're going to be in conversation with the culture at large in order to make it a success. Where with Disney, since you don't have that kind of boot on their neck, so to speak, you don't have that incentive to do well with the culture at large. It seems to be incentivizing a structure right now where half of their movies they're totally fine with them being flops, and maybe they're just there to push some sort of particular agenda or message, and then the other half are profoundly safe movies that do not push the culture forward but are guaranteed to make enough money to sustain those other losses.
Yeah, some of them are just general entertainment, and those ones are always fun and fine. But then you also have, like, regardless of your opinion on it, it feels like somebody who's very opinionated in how they want the world to be or how they view the world. And they kind of put their thumb in every pie and say, make the film have this. Like Wish had a very. All reception to it was really bad. And kind of. It just kind of gets to the point where it's almost, because they're so big, they start micromanaging all these different studios that they've bought up, and the quality of their product has gone down. Now, that's my opinion. That's not fact. There could be 1,000 other things, but you guys are probably going to make fun of me for this. But to compare it to a different nation's kind of animation, Japan, they don't have a Disney. They have several different companies that all work on different independent shows, series, movies, and they're all, well, they're not as critically, I don't know what to call it.
I feel like there's more breathing room because of how
there's
many
a lot more
there are.
breathing room. There's a lot more creativity. There's a lot more.
Yeah, and say
good art
what you
popped
will
out
about
if you
your
like animation.
say what you
Yeah.
will about your preferences of Japanese animation studio content and stuff. The thing that makes them so strong is that, again, they have so much more breathing room. It's not just one mega conglomerate company, multinational enterprise rules all and suffocates pretty much anything underneath it. It's a lot of I wouldn't quite call it indie, but there are a lot of indie studios involved. But it's a lot of like well-rounded, uh well-sized in comparison to each other. You know what I mean? Like none of them are too
Mhm.
like
It's
none of
almost
them are
like
too large,
to
And
make
and
a
yeah, go ahead.
comparison to nature. It's almost like biodiversity,
Yeah.
where you see much more healthy ecosystems when there's a large quantity of native populations, when there's a lot of different types of insects and a lot of different types of animals, rather than just like for example, I've heard of this being a problem in some areas that have been urbanized or at least suburbanized, is that oftentimes there'll be diseases that spread to certain strains of grass, and one of the primary causes is just because there's virtually nothing in those areas but grass. They've wiped out all of the native biodiversity. And you can kind of see that as a good metaphor for Disney, and that Disney kind of came in.
They get
to the
one
American
bad
culture.
executive or something.
Yeah.
it just blows everything up because that one guy has so much more power than he needs.
Disney is a damn invasive.
Yeah, I was about to
species.
say that. I was literally about to say that because if you think about it from like a standpoint of how they are in foreign countries, it definitely feels like that in some cases. I mean, again, think about Disney Plus and places with like China with their Shanghai resorts and stuff. Like the places with a lot of firm footholds in other countries, right? These
Well,
I without
sorry.
without places like what were you gonna say?
What I was going to say is I was just looking. I was trying to see what the stock value of it, and granted, I need because I'm just using
Okay.
Google, grain of salt.
Grain of salt.
But with the anime industries, if we're going to compare to animation industry, granted, Disney has branched out so far. They've branched out way past just their animated films that they got popular on.
Yeah.
They absorbed Marvel, Star Wars, and a bunch of other
Indiana
stuff.
Jones.
Indiana Jones, anything that they could get their mitts on. And I would argue they've gone lower in quality, but I'm wondering if we'll see the same thing happen over in Japan when, say, one of the studios starts doing what Disney did and starts buying up all of the other studios.
The 1,000-year reign of Ghibli.
I
Seeing
That would be
Ghibli
pretty
become the
crazy.
bad guy would break my
Ghibli
heart.
just starts buying everything up, and it's just like, nope,
You
only
were
Ghibli films
supposed
from
to
now on.
destroy the Sith, not join them.
We might see something like that happen if I remember right, because Sony is thinking about buying. Oh God, I need to look it up. It's a studio that owns FromSoft, which is how I got to know about it. But apparently, that company also owns a lot of animation studios or
Hmm.
uh, adjacent studios. So we might see Sony become a weird form of Disney over in Japan, which would be very
But
odd
that's exactly what like
because
I was kind of saying
PS4
is that that's why I was calling why
company.
I was like almost like in full agreement when Landon was jokingly saying Disney is an invasive species is because it's like that's the kind of stuff that it does where it'll like we said like I probably said earlier where it will go out and in foreign countries that it has footholds in especially it'll like buy out these companies that would be competitors, you know what I mean, and puts them under their own umbrella, or it like completely stomps them out entirely. Which is based on what you are saying about the Sony merger thing.
hmm
That's very
Granted, a
similar.
note about the Sony. Yeah, a note about the Sony merger is Sony is a Japanese company, if I'm
Yeah,
remembering
that's that.
correctly.
I think that's
And
true.
I
Although,
don't know how much it affects growth of industries outside the United States, but it's definitely had a greater effect here in the United States
yeah,
due to the fact this is its home base.
Sony is a
Disney,
Japanese.
Disney does. Yeah, Sony's Japanese. But here in the U.S., I think it would be very difficult to start a.
It would,
It might not. Well, it might be relatively doable to start an animation studio or a movie studio, but the chance that you don't get sniped at some point by Disney or oh God, what's the other TV? Actually, isn't
Illumination.
I feel Illumination? Well, that's for animation. I'm
Yeah.
thinking like major. Uh, one
Well,
second.
because
Is it
it's not even
Universal?
just films. It's like other forms
Or
of
is that even
media
a thing?
too,
I don't even know what I'm talking
like
about.
cartoons and other animated
Well,
stuff. Um,
we got an animated stuff, but yeah, Disney's huge. Comcast, Disney, Netflix,
yeah.
Apple, AT&T, Sony, and then a few smaller ones are the major media companies. And the chance that you start something and don't get bought out by one of them, I feel like it's a huge issue. I mean,
Disney controls
for
40% of the film industry.
yep,
That is
and
astounding.
Disney
That
does.
and I
Yeah.
think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. You'll have to look it up. That there's like they can't own more than that, or else it's classified as a monopoly. But I think 40 is too much. Like that's insane.
They really, really like teetering the line.
Because it's not like they grew to 40% because they made the best films. They grew to 40% because they bought Marvel, they bought Pixar, they bought every studio that was willing to be bought at a certain point, and then just became what it is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think that part of the advantage of like a breakup per se, like a breaking up of Disney, would be that it as a relatively uneducated in these matters man, it seems to me that just not even anybody's fault in particular, just the nature of the game seems to be that the exception is treating media as a legitimate art form, treating it with respect, and not cynically chasing after profits. That seems to be the exception. Now, it does happen, and I do think that's just one of the things that you get if they were split up is that if they are more spread out, the percent likelihood that there's going to be someone that treats things with respect and actually attempts to make good art is going to be higher than who's ever at the top of Disney deciding to become an altruist one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Also,
they
just
don't
feel like
really
mid-budget
have
films.
they don't
Oh,
really have a
yeah.
whole lot of like incentive to make something extremely, I'm missing a word, but the extreme
No.
of good quality, or of
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
and
but
Yeah.
they don't
I'm
have
not
the
saying
incentive
Disney's
because they're
solely
always on the
responsible.
top. But
Yeah, I'm not saying Disney's
Well,
solely
also-
responsible, but like as a guy that really loves movies and has noticed that they've fallen in quality over time, it does seem like Disney is at least in 40% to blame. Let's say.
No, movies were always bad,
Okay.
actually.
Yeah, real. No, what I was gonna say is the
the grave
good
feed.
lord, that was hard to
You
get in
mean
here.
real? What do you
Sorry.
mean real?
No, it's fine. It was the oh god, what? Yeah, I think you see that like mid-budget films feel like they're always better than the really high-budget films that we see nowadays.
yeah,
And I feel like you get more of those from
Limitation breeds creativity.
yeah, and exactly that actually. It's in when you don't really have limitations, they just keep making it bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it
I think
falls
Sun
in on
Tzu
itself.
said that, by the way.
Sun Tzu. You say Sun Tzu said that? Yes, Sun Tzu are the war.
you say I'm
Big
sure
That was
it's
Mr. Beast,
Tupac.
actually.
Shut the hell
No,
up.
I'm pretty sure it was Tupac.
Oh, let's not talk about Tupac. He's in controversy due to funny list.
Isn't he dead?
Wait, not Tupac. Fuck. I'm thinking of.
You're thinking of
I'm thinking. Oh, I'm stupid as hell.
He's thinking of Diddy,
I was
bro.
thinking about. I was thinking about Jay-Z.
oh.
Shit.
I don't respect
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I don't
that's
respect
yeah.
rap as an
Guy.
art form, so I don't care.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
Keep
why
that
I
in.
didn't. That's why I didn't do.
Keep that.
That's why I didn't do rap as my project because that was also an option. You could.
You could rap about it.
You could have
yeah.
done.
You
could
could have done.
We'll
Dude,
take
no.
a-
Or
take
I'm gonna
a
sabotage
little-
the podcast on purpose, so you're
Wait,
forced
what?
to rap.
No, okay, so
Yeah, we should
You
do
could
a
have
mixtape
written
right now.
a
we're gonna
rap?
take a little detour for a sec. One of the other options for this project, the options were write a 3 to 5 page paper, which snore, don't care. Do a podcast episode, which heck yeah, let's do it.
We
Or
literally
you could do
already
the
have
third.
one. You may
You
as
could do
well.
the third option, which was make a rap and submit that,
Make a
and
rap.
potentially get that shown to an entire classroom full of people.
You
Dude, I would
should've done that.
not.
The Disney
God,
Corp
that's-
is for little bitches.
Like, what would you? How would you?
I have no idea.
Your teacher confuses
Disney
me.
is bad. They make me mad. Yeah.
Like, okay, I know this is a detour, but what the hell are the requirements for the Disney or the not
U.S.
Disney
Penal Code
disc,
number
but
46.
I could not even begin to tell you.
Please, if you can, please look up the requirements for that because it's like, is it supposed to be factual? Because that will just turn into like the Sunday school, like when Christians try to rap.
So
I wrote this song
again,
for the Christian.
this part's getting cut
No,
out.
no.
This part's getting cut out, but I do want to
can't say
elaborate
that
on
one.
this. I literally the only thing I had to go off on just for the podcast was the paper requirements, and you would expect those to be different because they're entirely different forms of like presentation. But no, that's all you get. You get that, and that's it.
Okay.
And I don't even want to imagine what like how people. I don't think a single person actually made a rap If anybody did, I'm going to be shocked as fuck when I walk into finals.
That's going to be so funny, though. I hope
Your
somebody.
classmate
I hope
coming in
somebody just
in front of the poor sweet teacher.
leap. Jesus
Good
Christ.
lord.
Well, he's gonna have to edit this anyway. I might as well throw in like a one funny.
No one
Might
funny.
as well nuke it one time.
Okay, so we talked about mergers. We talked about how it kind of breeds instability and how it just destroys kind of innovation and creativity in all industries. We kind of touched on Japanese and Sony doing kind of the same thing.
Up yours,
over in
woke
Japan.
moralist.
Yeah.
What's another requirement or like topic
I
thing that
feel
you're
like
supposed
another
to talk
thing.
Disney kills
Because-
people.
about? Murder.
Murder. Just
I'm being 100% dead ass here, by the way. They actually did kill
What the-
somebody and then refused to
What
pay
are
out.
you-
Oh yeah, because
wait. I don't know what this.
no,
is.
there was a
Yeah, this was something that I wanted to bring up actually whenever you first brought up Disney Plus.
Policy.
I just
Oh, yeah, this
couldn't,
is-
couldn't
Oh, yeah,
find a way to
policy-
shoehorn it
policy
in.
is definitely.
Yeah, Disney policy is extraordinarily predatory. There was this one case where a dude's wife had a deathly allergy to
Oh,
peanuts.
I've heard of this.
And so they went to a Disneyland park where they attended one of the restaurants and let the server know repeatedly that they had a deadly peanut allergy. And guess what they got served? Peanuts.
yeah, and
And then they died. And then the husband literally couldn't sue because in the Disney Plus policy, you're not allowed to sue Disney for anything, no matter what.
yeah, it's like you enter and that's what their lawyers were desperately trying to do. I'm trying to look at. They filed a lawsuit. It doesn't say
So
the lawsuit.
has the case actually
gone
gone
through.
to court?
Oh, kind of.
The Mulan Muslim
Another-
death camps incident.
Yeah, that's what
What?
I had on my notes actually.
Yeah.
What?
The Mulan Muslim.
Wait, they did this?
Pardon?
They-
Okay, let's talk about that.
They
So-
shot parts of Mulan live action in front of Muslim Uyghur death camps, and they like.
Oh my god.
What?
Oh yeah, no,
This-
actually,
this
let's
was
kinda
They're
touch
visible
on
in
the
the
morality.
This was
product.
what I was talking about that had.
They're completely devoid of that,
huge
Michael.
censorship
Yeah,
caused
no,
by
that's
the
what I was gonna
CCP.
say. Is like, I think a lot of people are under the impression that Disney is
They're so cutesy and fun.
Yeah, no, they're-
murderers.
murder. No, I think a lot of people are under the impression that Disney, the company, is politically affiliated one way or the other. They don't care. They're not. I don't think they really actually have morals. I think what they're doing.
They're affiliated to the bank.
Yeah, they're affiliated to the bank,
I'm
so
having a
they'll
hard
say
time.
whatever they need to make money. And I think in the next few years, prediction on my part, you'll see them trend to wherever the political spectrum starts to slide because I don't think they have real policies. My evidence for that is, I guess, the Mulan camp because holy actual shit. In the fact that they're willing to censor their pieces of art when they send it over to China. So it's like, I think,
Yeah, their main goal is literally as many eyes as humanly possible, without like
yeah,
you know,
they do not
having any structure themselves.
No, I will say
whatsoever.
I
They
think
do
that
not
Michael's
care
right,
if who it
but
hurts
you should add the
or
word what the
what it
political
does.
elite think, not necessarily where the political spectrum trends.
Oh yeah, political elite. That's probably a better way to phrase it. It's just whoever.
Yeah, because that encompasses like foreign policies and
Yeah, that's true.
Or in
Figures.
in-country
And-
policies because
Yeah,
they have a lot of investors and stockholders and shareholders and whatnot that tend to steer them one way or the other because money.
I like money.
Michael, you were about to say something.
No, that happened in Arcane. I was about to say, I forget who Arcane was.
Oh, what happened with Arcane?
So, not specifically Disney, but another company who produced Arcane. They're, just for reference, there's a gay lesbian couple in that.
There's a couple of those in there.
Yeah, there's a. And in China, what they did is when the scene of them basically, not hyper.
There's a sex scene. Let's not sugarcoat
Okay,
it.
when they were getting into.
That's in there.
No. When they were getting intimate, they removed the other girl
Yo, how do I get the Chinese?
from the scene and had her kind of. They literally just not even keyframe. They literally just deleted.
What
the
did they
model.
just have the other? What?
Yeah, if
What
you
they're
know-
just,
if
like,
you know the
rolling
series.
around on the floor like
Those
a
who
pig?
know.
Yeah, she's leaning on nothing, like they're supposed to lean on each other in the scene, and quite
What in the
literally,
world?
she was leaning on air because in China they don't want to show that type of media, so they just completely removed it. I'm pretty sure this happened with another Disney thing, but I cannot particularly. Oh yeah, no, it was Lightyear. That's why, because it was such a crap
Oh yeah.
movie. They removed the gay couple in that one as well. Disney did
I
that.
would like to talk.
They don't have
I would
morals.
like to talk more
They
about
don't have.
that
Hey
censorship.
Duncan, cut this. They should.
Is China secretly based?
Wow. Okay.
So that 13 seconds just got deleted.
Okay, Duncan, don't cut this. I think that we should make this a law. Maybe amend it to the Constitution.
And we're cutting that too.
No, put that in.
I think.
No, wait, Duncan, your campus is right leaning. I think we
Also-
can get away with this.
Okay. Well,
Oh my god. So on mine, Duncan, just for rep.
They shouldn't be in any position.
Holy shit! Stop talking.
No
for
matter
the
what.
love of God.
Yeah, so
Beside
42
preggers.
minutes into mine, you're gonna have to nuke
It's
this.
okay. I'm gonna.
I think we held our own for quite some time.
I do want to.
But yeah, no, Disney.
touch more on
My
that.
point was Disney doesn't have a real form of morality, and there's
Struggling.
two main reasons to that. They're such a big company that they'll only ever appeal to what will make them money. And in China, if what makes them money is removing homosexuals from the film, they'll do that.
Nick, why did I just hear you giggle in the other room? What was that?
Giggle?
Okay.
Nick giggled.
Oh yeah, I
Giggle
forgot you
at
guys are in the
Why
same
would you
house.
say that? I
And-
muted my mic on purpose. Because
Because I'm curious. What are you laughing at? I need to
what I
know.
wanted to say, but I didn't get the chance, was I wanted to say
Okay.
cut this harder than
Okay, so that's 24, 60,
It's okay. I
43 minutes.
will watch the. I will spend hours on this. So
Oh
it's
my
okay.
goodness.
Yeah, the 40 minute mark is gonna go crazy.
Anyways, hello YouTube people. That stayed in the YouTube video, so hi guys.
Good lord. We're just making this as painful
This is
for
a
Duncan as humanly
real
possible.
take. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Anyway,
Grrr!
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Chat,
I
the
do
ship
actually.
is
Did the
sinking.
professor get her job through giving like whoever the man
Holy
in charge
shit! Stop.
coffee?
Please, for the love of God.
Please, whatever you're about to say, no.
Stop. Keep going, for the love of God.
Companies don't care. That's my point. Holy shit.
I do want to touch a little bit more on the China censorship because I don't
Yeah.
know if any other countries off the top of my head do this, but I think that's another thing I really don't like about Disney's like international practices is like essentially bending over to governments like the Chinese government, foreign governments, and then like going through these huge censorships, and then it feels like I don't know how to explain this. This might sound like mind numbing and brain rotted, and I might not know what the hell I'm talking about, but it does feel like that mirrors poorly back to the home country of the US.
Oh no, 100%. Like it's basically, oh, we made this film with our values,
Yeah. It
supposedly.
doesn't reflect
And then we
Everyone
send it
else,
over to
what
China like we
values?
don't respect your values. And it's like, okay, we don't either. And then we cut our values out of the film and then send it over there so we make money. It's just like it's not a good deal.
I'm gonna remain quiet on this.
And it
Well, okay, and I think I
Okay,
understand what Nick
that's
is
probably
about
for
to
the
say
best.
is that in a lot of cases, Disney
No.
does not actually create media that reflects the country's values.
yeah, no,
that happens a lot,
It,
and
it
then
reflects the elite.
it does not reflect.
reflects the people.
I would prefer the China cut. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, God. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't cut that. That's my unironic take.
I mean, they do sometimes include things that like I think they should censor. I mean, as a person with
I mean, we could.
actual
You're
values
gonna
and
delve right into
morals, but-
politics there. It's
I've been holding it back. It's so hard.
Again, we can say we can have the politics discussion. It's just I want to be sure
There shouldn't be
that
nudity in films.
we get the other stuff out of the
What?
way first. That's getting
he's saying nonsense.
Wait, Nick.
no,
I
no,
don't
don't,
think that there
do
should be
that.
nudity in
Don't do
films.
that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't know what he said, but I don't
Okay,
care.
what's the other parts that we needed to talk of? I know
Um,
there was something I was about to say, but we moved to censorship specifically.
Just censorship and it's I don't know.
I mean, what
Censorship's a
specific
weird thing for
cases?
me.
I mean, like for you, what specific cases were you looking for when you were talking about censorship?
Well, the first example I had here was the like Mulan thing because that was a big censorship thing, and I guess it depends on your take because a lot of people that criticize Disney go on the side of like it's we don't like the censorship kind of thing, but I understand that like Nick said there are some times where like the censorship's actually kind of nice, and it kind of takes some things out, but like I don't know, it censorship's weird for me. I was actually wondering what your take on that was because I
Well,
On censorship
it's a hard
generally, or in this case?
I think
in this
censorship
case
is generally bad.
just in I that's what I was thinking
Well,
too, but it was just like
I would say,
specifically for Disney like
Sometimes based.
yeah, specific. Well, it depends. So, with kind
Sometimes
of
based.
freedom of speech, I think it's bad to censor someone, especially censoring people you disagree with. I think, like
I mean,
with
unless
modern
they're
Disney
saying
movies,
something
I don't care
batshit
for a lot of
insane.
them. I don't think I agree with a lot of what they're trying to say. For example, Wish, I think had a horrible message and was just bad. I think, oh God, what Snow White is going to be bad. I'll bear through it though. Lightyear wasn't particularly great. But I don't think you should censor those things. Like for me, at least my opinion on it is those should be allowed to exist. It's just if I don't want to watch them, I don't watch them. And as Disney is finding out on the censorship part, or not on the censorship part, but on the well, being able to release whatever the hell you want, even if it's stupid, they're losing money on a lot of those films.
Nick, I want to hear
Granted,
your take as well on this. Sorry, Michael, finish
yeah,
Okay,
finish.
yeah. Okay, go ahead, Michael.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Um,
No, you're good.
I would say I generally agree with Michael. I'll lay out a few cases in which I think censorship is justified. Obviously, I think since I come at things from a substantially more traditionalist and conservative point of view, I think that I'm going to be more pro censorship. Um, Especially in a case like Disney, where they own a substantial margin of kids' films. Um, I do think if there's anything that is culturally substantial enough to the point where it is almost actively difficult for parents to avoid that content, that it's justifiable that parents expect some censorship to be in line with more general American values. Um, in general, not talking specifically Disney, I think that the cases in which censorship is justified tend to be either ideologies that are fundamentally opposed in some major way to the idea of a free marketplace of ideas. So things that have a utilitarian moral framework, or things that are generally demeaning to the human spirit or against the common good. So for example,
My
excessive nudity or graphic sex in films, I think, is justifiable censorship. I think that um, exposure to things that are generally abrasive to traditional American culture, especially in children's media, I think that it becomes more complicated when it's specifically designed for adults, but when it's a substantial part of the children's entertainment market, I think there are justifiable instances of censorship for those. Much like I would be in favor of censoring certain books from
Well, I
children's
think that's why the
libraries.
rating system exists, isn't it?
Well,
Because
yes,
isn't it?
but like for example, some of the stuff that you would not necessarily want your child seeing in Disney films
Well, I think
is not
I
covered
think
by the like this. Like that would still be a PG film. So,
well, like what specifically? I'm actually curious on that. Or if you can't name it, it's fine. But
well, for example, I don't think, for example, that a parent would be unreasonable in not wanting to immediately explain certain alternative lifestyles, for example, or uh, exposure to ideology. Because, like, even in these children's films, like, if you watched them, there are exposure to ideologies that you might not want to explain to a child that early.
I
Uh,
I just don't know how you would do that without it becoming basically the government is
I'm not advocating for the government to do it.
administering their version of truth and saying, "Oh well, this opposes my quote unquote ideology, thus you can't make your piece of art."
I'm not
And
advocating.
thus,
I just know that Disney knows
it's
because they self-censor in other countries where the culture is more serious.
The
oh, I see. I
culture
see
the
what you mean.
culture is another thing where there's always been a lot of criticization about Disney's practices in not mostly in like their portrayals of different cultures, and some of these arguments are kind of like I see people go out and go, well, Disney's really bad at uh cultural appropriation or whatever. Look at except for Encanto. Encanto's a great, like, bro. What? I don't know. It's
Well, I think we see a problem when people get political. Like, actually, if we want to talk about how, granted, either side, this bothers me, but we're gonna talk. God, dude, I hate that I keep circling around to the same few films, but again, the Snow White, the actress who plays Snow White, said some pretty bad things.
Yeah, she's an objectively horrible
Yeah,
person.
she's said some really bad
I actually
stuff,
didn't know about
and
this, and it might be enlightening to the audience. Is there any way that you could
yeah.
give a brief summary of her
Also,
comments?
Wasn't
by the
there
way,
a?
she said,
editor me put these
Huh?
instances of things that she said on screen. Um,
"Oh yeah."
Yeah.
So
Continue,
there's
Michael.
one specific message that definitely blew up, and the short and sweet of it is, I hope everybody who voted for X candidate knows no peace. If you know her at all, you know which candidate I'm talking about. Um, and kind of was
Yeah.
just saying how, also just throughout the entire thing, kind of mocking the original film, kind of mocking the values of people who would like the original film. Um, and she's just not that great. And they're still they kept her, and that's a kind of a problem, is because she was being abrasive and saying very bad, vile shit, and then just did
Yeah,
Disney didn't
Disney
do
is
anything.
like extremely partisan because
God, they're very
there
partisan.
was an instance of another actress doing kind of the same thing, or not. No, actually, not at all. What I'm trying to say, kind of the opposite, is what I'm trying to say. She did. She just like showed vague support for the other candidate, and then they immediately canned her.
Yeah, no, and it's a problem, and obviously you can't always be. I don't think you can ever realistically be unbiased in terms of what you believe in, but I do believe there is a point to which it's too much, and if one on your side, like say they agree with her and like voted the same as oh god, I'm gonna have to look her up. Um, Snow White.
I feel like that's a another thing that causes
Oh
a
yeah,
whole
Rachel Zegler.
yeah
Jeez.
that causes a
Um,
whole host of problems though. Like the
they just, ooh, they're just very willing to have people, not willing. They're very tolerant of people who they more or less agree with. Actually, we had a similar problem. Oh, oh God, it was the actress in The Acolyte also said some pretty bad stuff as well.
see
Where they're
the thing.
wishing death or wishing violence or wishing non-peace upon people, and
Yikes!
then Disney doesn't fire them, and then they go turn around and they're like, "Oh, you supported the candidate that I don't like, you're fired," and that's bad. Like it's very obviously they're skewed towards one side or the other,
And the thing that
and
I wanted to mention about that in particular is that, and
yeah,
I think this applies to people in the home country, the U.S., and
hmm
in other countries that consume Disney content and media, uh, is that it doing that and doing that weird shady stuff of essentially being steered by these political elites,
hmm
because that's what's happening in those scenarios. It
Fucking
alienates
well,
totally.
it's
it,
not even,
it alienates
yeah.
a whole lot of people, a
Well,
lot of
the alien,
consumers, and
like,
I feel like it causes a
no, it
big
does. It
rift
100%
in
does.
people who consume Disney content. I mean, that's both, again,
You
both
can't
here and
alienate
outside of the
half of
country.
the country and not expect people to get
You
upset.
can't alienate
But-
half the freaking world and expect people not to get upset. I mean, it's
half the
most of the
world.
world.
I would
I
say,
would-
And now that you're
yeah.
talking
I was-
about that, I mean, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about initially, is that this is one of the problems that you get when you have a company as large as Disney, is that you do not have enough. I mean, I know that we have this kind of romantic mythos in our head of like the unrestrained artist, but the fact of the matter is that the same psychological factors that predict high creativity also predict profoundly leftist sentiment. And that being the case, I think it is important to basically have the pull of the public on that person to force them to encounter things that are more in line with reality and thus make good art. But when you have no financial incentive to kowtow to the public in some major way, then you end up with very partisan films like Snow White, which is effectively a what would you say,
mockery.
a leftist colonization of
Bastardization.
white culture.
Yeah.
Bastardization.
No, it's straight up just a mockery of the original film because again, if you're gonna edit this and like show specific clips, you can pull up how Rachel Zegler talked about how the old film was bad, how they're changing everything, they're kind of turning her into a girl bossy type of person, and also just side note, it's very odd to me that they didn't hire 7 actual people with dwarfism. They're like they have their head so far up their ass. They're like, we don't want to show dwarves on screen because that would be offensive to people with dwarfism. And it's like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, and then every like actor with dwarfism on the planet
He's
comes
like,
out. They're like, "What the hell,
7
man?
high
Great job."
profile Disney position.
What the hell is that one?
they're just
That
not-
one
nope, you
guy's
don't get
name.
'em.
Man, what's that one guy's name? The like super popular like
Is it the Game
yeah,
of
the
Thrones
Game
guy?
of Thrones
Oh, yeah.
guy. I don't know what his name
He didn't
is.
like.
He
Doesn't like
dead.
the original Snow White either, but he was more talking. He was also going like, "What the genuine hell are you guys talking about?" Like you could have played 2 different ways and like either not had them or hired 7 people, and you did neither.
That's
It's like,
crazy.
if it's so offensive, then why did you even have the 7 people?
Okay.
That's just being
So,
stupid. Like that's just them being stupid.
I'm gonna
Yeah, why'd you have like 7 people do midget face?
Midget face.
But as much as all this is troublesome, and I'm not saying that the unique conditions that Disney has are not influential to this, I will say I don't think that these things are necessarily Disney-specific problems. It's more so that our culture is rotting, and downstream of that is going to be our biggest cultural institutions, one of which being Disney.
So
And they're just going to exemplify that.
I will. This is going to be the political rant segment. And
Well,
then
Yippee.
and then we'll have.
Well, wait. Have you covered all the topics that we need?
I think the only other one I want to cover is a relatively is they're relatively small in nature.
Mhm.
It's mostly things about like I have an example here about Disney's predatory pricing, just very
Oh.
basic business practices, not
Oh, yeah.
quite.
Well, that's
We've
just monopolies in
just
general. Yeah.
bad monopoly things. I mean, a lot of these can be dumbed down. Like I found a whole, and this is a blog post, article post, whatever, of they had some guy, and I'll put it on screen when I edit this. He was describing his experience with like his son playing in the Disney soccer showcase, which to my understanding, the Disney Soccer Showcase it's like basically a tournament, like ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex, taking place in mid-February. Like it's happening. There's a 2025 event happening in February and stuff. It's you bring your kids and they do a soccer tournament is mostly what I understand about this. Um, yeah, it's but it there was a guy. If you look at what I sent you guys, like the Google Doc that I sent you guys, there's a screenshot of like the whole
I've been finding
rant.
it.
And
You didn't send it to me.
It's in the chat. It's in the
No, it's in the-
yeah.
it's
It's in the doc is in the chat. Just look at that.
Which chat?
Bad faith,
Ah,
like the actual podcast chat. Michael, you are
I'm so
fucking
bad.
blind.
Okay. Okay.
It's the one with like the purple highlight in it, like the highlighted text in here. Essentially, he's talking about Disney engages in what he would describe as predatory business practices. The venue charges parents and family a steep admission price to see their own kid play, in addition to the club fee and to enroll a team. He went alone with his son, and it was $55 to see him play for 3 days just for him.
$55 a day?
I think so. Let me look. It doesn't say, but it just for him implies that
I mean, regardless, it's fucked
yeah.
up.
It
That's a lot of
seems
money.
like if it's just for him, then that means like it costs even more to play with other people, right? Like most showcases, even at the elite level, are run by clubs or leagues. When you pay them money, you are supporting the club and thus the game. Tournaments are how many clubs stay in business. One way clubs can afford to support players who cannot pay oh my freaking god, who cannot pay full freight. The tournament is run by a giant corporation. The profits all go to Disney. Compare this to other corporate entities involved in the game, say Nike. They sponsor events too, generally through the subsidized, then based. What the hell? I'm so
Here,
sorry.
I think I know where it's.
I'm failing at reading this. But like,
No, you're good.
if you look at this, and again, it's going to be on screen for everybody to read for themselves. You understand where it's going, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's
Well, I suppose I don't know enough about the topic, but what it kind of sounds like is Disney has a uh, higher price for as the same good as opposed to competitors like Nike. Personally, I don't see much of an issue with it because unless you're like the only way.
The reason that I don't see an
It is a
issue,
much more
from what I'm reading
much more
anyway.
minor nitpick of all things.
I mean, granted, it's annoying
It's
that
annoying,
they
but it's
charge that much, but the reason that they're doing so, and they described it in the article, is because Nike charges less because the more people that play soccer, the more cleats they can sell.
Yeah.
But for Disney, there's no real incentive to have people play soccer unless they're going to like make a soccer movie or something.
Yeah, and I guess on my end, it's just like when a corporation charges more for something like Disney, you're paying the premium extra amount because it's Disney. You're paying it because it's Disney inspired or in a Disney area. It's not just
It's a brand thing.
it's a brand, and if people want to pay extra money for the brand, it's annoying. I think it's stupid, but if you want to pay more money for the same crap, then I guess it's your money, right?
Yeah.
Where I would see more of an issue is if it was like a vital good, I suppose. Like for example,
Mickey Mouse
if
insulin.
Disney, yeah,
Pay $10,000 for your purified drinking water.
yeah, it's just like, oh, you want fresh water? Oh, you got to pay. Like
Speaking of which, I'm gonna go get
that
a-
would be a problem.
Also, this is the only source.
Yeah, that's the main
Yeah.
thing is if they corner the source and then say, oh, you can only get it from us, and you got to pay your entire life savings. Womp
Which,
womp.
to a
That's a
degree, with their own with their content, they do kind of do that. I mean, I let me
They have Disney,
Disney
Plus,
Plus kind of. I don't know actually. Is Disney Plus
Eh.
cheaper than Netflix? I actually don't know. Let me look this up.
Well, it's not even if it was cheaper or more expensive, you're buying it for a different reason than you would buy Netflix because Disney has Disney movies, Disney products, Disney. You're paying the sticker price for Disney's stuff. And if we as consumers actually have a problem with that, we should just simply not buy it.
Well,
Now,
I mean,
if enough people do that, then
things like
womp womp,
Netflix
they
have
lose.
Disney content on their.
No, I don't believe. Maybe there was like some things got grandfathered in, but I'm pretty sure Netflix doesn't get any new
Not any
Disney.
new maybe modern
They might
releases,
have a
but
few old movies on there.
they
Like
have a
Lightness
lot
One, but
of.
I think
I think they have a lot more old
Let me do
content
some
on there.
boopity boop.
than you
yeah, do
realize.
some boopity boop for us.
What?
Does Disney have or does Netflix have Disney stuff?
I love do some
I don't-
boopity boop. That shit goes hard.
I think if they do, I'd imagine it would be like Disney Channel stuff and not really anything.
Well,
Yes, Netflix has some Disney
actually-
properties, including new movies, classic titles.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Netflix struck a deal with Disney in 2012 to have the exclusive rights to stream new films from Marvel, Pixar, Lucasfilm, and Walt Disney American Studios. I'm guessing that one declined, but I do think that it does seem like they still have some, but it's probably just limited. I did figure they would, because I think there is some stuff that, weirdly, that is Disney that isn't available on Disney Plus.
Yeah, there's probably some certain things where contracts were signed. Like I remember Spider-Man was
Which-
getting fought over for a while there.
That is
because
weird,
it was
too.
owned by different companies. There's some weirdness. Like we could talk about the legal stuff, but I snore. I don't care. Like it's weirdness. Something that I do have a problem with, I guess, if we're going to talk about like specific business practices of making things more expensive, is kind of how all the entertainment like Hulu, Netflix, Disney, I guess Amazon now, are almost becoming like Comcast too. Is almost becoming like oh god, what was it called? Was it Comcast? Basically, just a merger
What?
between all of them. You have to buy a package deal, and then you have to
yeah, I
run
see what
ads
you
on
mean.
it. It's turning back into what old TV was.
Yeah, like
because
cable.
back in the day, Netflix did not have ads. Netflix had all the movies you could ever want, and it was not free, but you would pay, your money, and you were just chilling. But now it's like there's ads on
Pay the extra
sites.
$5 to go ad free, but we're still gonna feed you other ads.
Yeah, it's like
because
pay
it's technically in our
$13, pay
clause.
15 whatever the hell dollars a month. Oh, and if you want extra features and don't want ads, you have to pay us $5 more. But some of them still have ads, so you have to either watch the ads or pay even more money. And it's kind of homogenizing. It's like it's almost like a little bell curve, because it's like when a new industry or something starts, it's really good for a while, and then it keeps going up and up, and then it reaches a peak, and then everything starts homogenizing, like Hulu,
I wonder
Disney,
if we'll
Netflix.
have like a streaming Ouroboros where like it eventually comes back around. It's like, oh, new company, it's streaming service with actually no ads, and then that becomes popular, and then over time it does the same thing.
I would assume, like, if we wanted to fix this problem, we'd have to better define what a monopoly is, and better make it so you could only grow to a certain extent and then not past that. Because I think, like, right now, I don't think anyone can really argue that the way Disney is good for anybody. It's not good for entertainment. It's not good for art. It's not good for the culture. It's not good for anyone but, I suppose, the investors.
It's not good in
But
country or
it's
foreign
just...
Wait,
in foreign spaces. Either.
Duncan, censor this. It's good for the at the top.
Oh my fucking god, that was
That was a
I was
full-on 4chan
struggling to not
response.
talk about earlier.
Christ, dude.
That was the most 4chan response. I'm gonna put like the classic like 4chan like
Don't make
Oh my
me
God.
start posting verses from the Talmud.
Ah, god damn.
God.
Shut the fuck
yeah.
up.
It's I mean, the only other things that I've gotten written on here that are again, these are all relatively minor things. and
Wait,
things
hold
we've
on. Censor this.
covered.
What the fuck is going on? Do you hear that, Landon?
Yeah, I was about to ask the same shit.
Where?
The
What?
fuck?
It-
It's like a fucking
Is the
earthquake.
world
or
ending
something.
right
What the
now?
hell was that?
Did you guys?
Oh, it's raining. That was thunder.
Holy
fucking thunderstorming?
Good lord!
What?
It's like
God
shaker.
was
Bro,
angry.
that fucking thunder was so fucking loud that I thought it was an earthquake.
Is it like
Jesus
shaking
Christ.
your
The
building?
ship is sinking.
The ship
The
is
ship is sinking.
The ship is sinking.
The ship is sinking.
Yeah,
Can we
look
please?
outside. It's like fucking raining
First of all,
hard.
give the ship is sinking the wall of honor, because I need that to become a new boys meme.
I want that to be gold. I want that.
The ship is sinking.
Oh my god. Bro, it'd be so funny if our power cuts.
Oh no!
just lose the fucking
I'm
recording.
gonna cry.
Well, I'm on a laptop like a Chad, so mine would save.
So
Mine would fucking get nuked off the planet.
so
There would just be really odd fucking
To-
voids.
to kind of just cover up some things. This is kind of the last little bit of
Yeah, you better cover up
Oh.
the speak real well.
holy
'Cause
shit.
that
Shut
was-
up.
And that was at...
Stop. Good lord. To cover up some other things. A lot of these are relatively small or things that we've mentioned already.
Mhm.
But you know, things that get labeled as predatory or have been criticized as predatory
Statement of physics.
practices by Disney, both in and out of home country, are things like alleged anti-union stuff, aggressive copyright enforcement. They
Oh
are
god,
very hyper aggressive with copyright. Leveraging market dominance to control pricing. This is a thing they do a lot, both here and in the foreign market. That's how the homogenizing conglomerate underneath the Disney umbrella happens and shit like that.
dude. I feel like uh,
Using manipulative
slightly.
marketing strategies that target children. That's which goes hand in hand with a lot of the advertisement stuff that's so problematic. Although
Actually, that's a
you have to
question.
realize that a lot of companies do that, but it's still
No,
bad.
don't posit your
I
question. I
want to
don't
hear
want to
your
hear it.
question.
Okay.
No, I want to hear it. I want to stop talking. I want you to say something.
No, it was.
I'm gonna send a screenshot to Discord real quick.
Oh god.
Okay, I appreciate it. I want to see it. Mine now.
Is it?
Give me.
I guess a question we could ask: is it ever ethical to market anything towards kids? Because on one hand, like I think the way we thought of it, it was really harmless. But what we see now, and the reason like McDonald's is gray, that millennial gray that they have, is because they were forced to get rid of bright colors, get rid of marketing towards kids as much as they did, uh, and targeted ads towards them because a kid is very susceptible to influence, and if an ad is showing some hyper colored, very brightly colored thing, uh, basically just fucking cocoa melon,
Yeah.
it's easier to influence them than an adult.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, just on your guys' take, if it's ever okay to market to them, especially in that, or if it is okay to market to them, how would you even do that?
I think it
without
definitely
becoming
just
predatory?
comes with an inherent risk of being predatory, but like, eh,
I mean, it kind of feels like marketing towards children in general can never not be predatory. Because marketing in and of itself kind of requires manipulation. And children cannot know when they're being
Oh
manipulated.
my god,
so,
Nick, fuck you. Sorry, I get.
anyways, that's a really funny.
What?
What do you mean? What? I see what you just posted in chat.
Oh my god, it is raining even harder. Okay.
Anyways,
I don't know if you heard what I said.
sorry.
Say it again.
No, I fully
Say it
got
again.
tuned out.
Okay. I was basically just saying that I think marketing itself is kind of predatory no matter what, especially to children, because it uses manipulation in order to get people to do things, and children cannot know when they're being manipulated.
Yeah, that's fair. Do you think it's so? Would you say that?
I wouldn't say marketing is intrinsically immoral, though.
I wouldn't say
No,
it's
but-
intrinsically
but
immoral,
towards
but
kids.
There is an argument to be
Towards
made
kids.
that maybe we should. Well, I mean, we certainly should have more restrictive laws on how we market to children, but I would not be even principally opposed to outright illegalization of marketing to children.
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's not intrinsically immoral because the adults know when they're being manipulated,
Yeah.
usually.
So
If they don't, then they're kind of stupid, but
so
that's on them.
an effect that I'm wondering would happen because we actually kind of already see it is like, for example, how do you, as a toy brand, if you make some type of toy for kids, how do you market it then? Because if we outright banned it, then those companies theoretically either wouldn't exist or would be significantly less powerful, or something like.
Well, I mean, I feel like they almost don't even need to market it because the children will see it when walking through the supermarket with their parents, anyways.
So just kind of organically finding it would be your.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
and they usually will. Like and like word of mouth is also a thing. Maybe not for like little kids, but in say like maybe kindergarten or something. Your kid goes to school with his toy. He's like, "Oh, look, friend, I have this really cool toy."
What about
Other kid
non-explicit?
is like, "Oh, I want that toy."
What about non-explicit marketing? I'm going to show. Actually, this counts because they made deals with Disney. Fortnite.
yeah, actually, he's not wrong. That whole metaverse shit that they're doing right now, they've
Duncan, insert Mr. Incredible hitting the gritty
I
now.
will. Editor, put all the incredible skins that I have in Fortnite on screen. Disney's been jamming it out with Fortnite for whatever reason, and they've got all these plans to put all these things in the game. Which that comes with its own whole slew of weird censorship things that people are having problems with, like making certain skins not hold guns and shit like that.
Well, I think that type of I think that's actually fine. Like, if a parent does,
I mean, it is kind of up to the person that created the character
but it's
to
like
decide what they want the character to do or not to do.
yeah, especially if you own the rights to it. But it is interesting because I would say that I think Fortnite markets itself as a teen game, but I would say the probably vast majority of people who play it are mainly kids.
5-year-olds that are cracked off their asses.
Yeah, just playing this very like
cranking fucking 90s fucking slopping out dubs every day left and right.
I mean, they have like certain skins that you they have certain skins that you can only use in certain like rated game modes, like
like T for teen and stuff.
That's typically characters that have guns.
Well,
attached
no,
to
not
them,
entirely, because it's like the
swords.
Xenomorph, like from Alien,
or
the
Xenomorph
from Alien.
Well, isn't that a horror creature?
Yeah, but it's. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Then what's the problem? You don't want to just like be like, oh look, kid, be scared.
The point I was trying to bring up with Fortnite is, should a game like Fortnite or any T for T or any online content, let's just expand it past that, should require verification of age? So should Fortnite have a way to, Nick, for the love of God?
I mean, it wouldn't work without asking for like very personal identification, like documents from children, which I feel like is illegal. You can kind of look that up.
Nick, you're gonna piss off like. Here, just cut this out. Nick, you're gonna piss off both Kyle. Let's see. Maybe Andy.
What are you even posting right now? What is
I'm posting all of the
ghost
how all companies are owned by.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people in chat who wouldn't like that, oddly enough.
Goodness gracious.
Anyway.
But it's just facts.
Yeah, I mean, he's just posting real
Anyway,
shit.
what were you saying, Michael?
I feel like this might piss somebody off.
Michael.
And we are in no way being ironic. We're being 100% dead
Yeah,
serious.
I picked the old.
Holy fuck, this is the worst.
Dude, you are going...
that is crazy.
I'm so fucking... Okay.
You poor fucking Nick.
You were going to cut this shit out anyway, what do you mean?
Yeah, but the fact he has to manually go in and trip it from 4 different...
Please.
He has to, from 4 different audio streams,
I was
cut
just
that.
illustrating it. This is ironic.
He doesn't have to cut it from all 4. You can keep our reaction to what he said, but bleep what he said, which is what I did in the other episodes.
Anyway.
There's got to be a lot of bleeping.
Anyway.
That's why it's fun to have the 4 different audio streams, is so that you can bleep one person and keep everyone else's like.
We've been going on for about an hour and 13 minutes, so now's a good time to get to the political segment. So this is the segment.
Wait, what? We've already talked about politics.
I thought we were.
Well, I mean,
this whole fucking thing has been politics.
Well, clearly not, because you were not
What are you
paying
talking
attention,
about?
and you were the most political person here. So you are now required to lock in.
What?
We were not. I tried to like steer away
Okay,
from
yeah.
hyper
I'll lock in.
political.
Michael, because Nick wasn't involved, it was no longer
It wasn't-
political. I'm sorry.
I see,
It
I
wasn't-
see. So when I talk about politics, it's not political.
Neither
but
of
he
us
does.
are political
This is
enough.
like part
It
2
wasn't-
of when me and Andy were in school, and he like started out liking Marvel, and he got me into it. And then at the end of the year, the teacher characterized us as like the Marvel expert, me, and the Marvel expert sidekick, Andy.
Oh
That's
no!
insane. No, but like
I'm the
it
only
wasn't.
real
It wasn't.
politic.
Shut up. It wasn't hyper political. I feel like Nick didn't contribute. Nick, contribute, please. I don't know.
He's been contributing. He's
The
been
old
talking.
He hasn't.
He's also been making a lot of things that you have to bleep
posting-
out, but
he's-
he's been contributing.
Oh my
Yeah, in his own
Not
little
too fond
special
of
sort of way.
Talmud.
god. Kill yourself.
His own little special sort of
Also, I
way.
have-
I'm
That's
gonna have to
what
have a post fucking.
I'm also gonna have to put that on the counter because I forgot that saying KYS has to go on
Nick,
the
can
counter.
you please, for the love of God, have fucking post-racism clarity, like, now? Please. Oh my god.
Okay.
Anyway,
No, please put that on the wall of something. Racism clarity. Pardon?
I'm actually locked in. Well, okay. Here's my problem, and you can keep this in. And I kind of mentioned this earlier. And the reason why I haven't talked about politics as much as you would expect out of me, the official political guy,
Official. Fuck.
is I don't think that there's much that is politically unique about Disney, and I think this kind of goes along with what Michael was saying earlier, is that and why I kind of added that comment was, I think that Michael is right in that the goals of Disney in some strict sense are, I think, very cynical and selfish in a lot of ways. Like, I don't think that these are altruistic left-wing people who have gotten positions of power and are going to push their message at all costs. I think it's much more cynical than that. And because of that, it's less so that Disney is a unique political entity, and more so that they are downstream of our rotting culture, and that because of their unique opportunities, they are a larger threat. That was a large lightning that I just saw. That was
Did you see that
crazy.
shit? Oh
That
my
was
god. What the hell?
they are just a larger sort of player in the political game than other companies would be. So I think Michael's right in that when the Overton window of the elites starts changing, that's when you'll start. And I don't think that'll, for the record, I don't think that'll ever get outside of the left wing. Because again, because of entertainment being a field in which there needs to be a high number of creatively minded people, and we know that psychologically the creatively minded are predisposed to be left wing because of their traits. It's always going to skew that direction, and there's really not much you can realistically do about that, unless you get back Disney and other studios back to a point where they are, in some sense, required to play nice with the culture that they detest. So you have to get people in the United States taking their culture seriously again. You have to get them thinking more right wing. You have to get them to be preserving their culture more. And then you have to get Disney to be financially dependent upon the people that feel this way about their culture.
Well, and they are financially dependent. It's just not enough people necessarily care. Like, for example, Wish, that lost them millions of dollars. They have enough money to lose those battles, so to speak. They have enough money to release flop
they're
after
dependent,
flop.
but their dependency is being met time after time.
Because their main
over and
sources
over
of
again. Oh my god.
yeah, their main sources of revenue are things like Disney Plus, their theme parks, their basically just their IPs. I mean, hell, there's a game that me, Landon, and Andy were playing not too long ago. What was it called? Marvel.
Bro, Marvel Rivals was peak.
Yeah.
I'm actually so down to play it again.
Yeah, no, Marvel Rivals.
I will.
like that
I will
game,
also
and
be installing
that
this
will
game, by
produce
the
them
way.
revenue. That will produce them
Duncan,
revenue.
can you gift me that skin? I liked it for no particular reason.
I'm getting myself that skin.
Well,
That's all
and
the
there's a
money I
number
can
of
afford on it.
there's another host of unique cultural factors that I think led up to this, and why we are so ineffective at making any sort of stand against Disney or other large corporations. The bigger ones is that the deterioration of our pride in our culture and how we perceive ourselves, where we base and ground our identity.
There's a lot of cynicism.
Well, not even just that. I mean, there is certainly that, but also that they've made the intentional effort to get the average American to be identifying less with what they produce, identifying less with their particular cultural background, less with their nation, less with its history, less with their race, and more with their identity as a pure consumer. This is why when you talk to people now, if you said, like, who are you to a man of the 1950s, he would be like, well, I'm a Christian, I'm an American. He would have listed things that are central to his identity, things that are often actually, and this is sort of part of the liberal framework, is the rejection of anything that is any inherited identity. He will give you a lot of identities that he inherited, whereas now all his identity is going to be like, well, this is the television show that I like to watch, and this is what I put on my graphic tees, and it's pure consumption. And if your identity is nested in pure consumption, you are never going to be able to stage a proper revolt against that which you are consuming.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, granted, obviously there's things I disagree with there, but to kind of stay on topic, I think with Disney too, it's also just not an authentic version of, I feel like, any form. Like right now they're identifying with left-leaning people because they think that's what will make them, that's what's the most beneficial for them
It's
right
hip.
now. And if the
You say
Overton
that's what's
window
hip.
were to shift right, if the Overton window were to ever go right, you would have this inauthentic version of right-leaning politics in the movie industry. Because I think when you get to that size, it's almost impossible unless you have a very strong leader or a very strong visionary for that company. It's just bloat. And then you just get people who are like, man, the guys today like old Disney movies. Let's make Wish, which is about wishing and stuff. And then you have a billion executives arguing over what the point of the movie should be, and then what the art direction should be, and then you just get slop.
Yeah.
Slop from the trough.
More slop, please. My trough is.
Would you like some more slop, little Disney?
Yes,
Well, and
yes,
there's actually-
yes.
And yeah, no, I agree with you.
There's
I think
tremendous
identifying
precedent for what Michael
I
said,
think-
by the way. The biggest being just look at. I mean, I know I've tried to get Michael into more of them. I've tried to get everybody into them. But if you ever like to the prospective viewer / listener, go. I'm not saying that it's authentic right-wing thought, but I am saying that they were forced to play nice with the culture, and you can see this. Go back and watch Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. Go back and watch Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, 12 Angry Men, Gone with the Wind. These older films had to play nice with the culture. They had to treat it as though the people were smart, and that there was something fundamentally good about American civilization or Western civilization more generally.
Oh, that's what.
And
Yeah.
even though it's actually rather evident, and they've tried to kind of rewrite history on this, that the communists that were in that industry really did not like us all that much, they at least were forced by necessity of the almighty dollar to play nice with us. And when such a time comes when we are able to vote with our dollar effectively again, they will have to go back to something resembling that, or at least close.
Well, and you can kind of see we're already kind of voting with our dollar, so to speak, because right now the American people, they're not as opinionated as I would say a lot of the people in this group, because holy shit. But you can only fail.
I don't think there's a single person here with real autism except for Michael.
He's
This is
stroking
really
out
funny.
every 5 seconds.
I don't have autism. Fuck you.
Before
Yeah, you do.
before Michael says, do we have a topic?
What?
Before the ship is sinking.
The ship is sinking.
Do we have a topic? I mean, we've kind of just been rambling on about nothing.
Well, he said political
what's
section.
what's the
The ship
topic,
is sinking,
guys? No,
still
what's
water,
the
those
topic?
who know.
Oh my god. No one.
You suck. I hate
Homie,
you.
nobody's gonna understand that shit.
Everyone understands. You know what? Keep that in. And I want classroom. I'm addressing you all now by show of hands. Who all knows the still water meme?
By show of hands, those who know? Question mark.
Erm.
Duncan,
Fuck,
wait,
what the
did
fuck was I
you
saying?
see Lennon? Did you see
the hell
Dennis
was I
Prager
saying?
being one of those who know?
No,
Scroll up in
okay.
chat
Did
real
he
quick.
say, dude, I fucking that guy.
Scroll up in chat.
He knows.
Just click on this clip that I found out of nowhere. I added you with the
I
caption
see.
Stillwater.
Oh wait, what?
What?
Wait, am I stupid? Where?
Just scroll up until you see Stillwater at Quirker 7.
Is this before or after I stated I was going to kill
I
myself?
don't know.
Oh, it was before I found it.
before after.
Okay.
Oh, you literally just got him saying, "For those who know, I
Found
hate
a
you."
clip of okay,
That guy's
yeah.
a tool. I swear to God.
No, Michael, he's one of those who know.
For those who.
Shut
all he
up.
said was for those
You just
who know.
found a clip. Okay, for context, it's literally just a clip of the guy,
knows.
Dennis Prager saying, "For those who know." That is it. That is the only thing.
Yeah, but he knows.
This guy gets it, bro.
Jesus
Lord.
Michael doesn't know.
For those
Yeah,
who
Michael,
know.
Ah.
Michael doesn't know.
It is exclusively for those who know.
Well, to stay on the topic of media, I guess, because who fucking cares?
McCarthy, for those who know.
Helldivers. That's. Oh fuck! Actually, you know what? There's one I want to talk about. Landon, I know you don't like this game. The fucking Pokemon.
I fucking hate Pal World,
World.
and the developers got what they deserve.
No, that's honestly, if you wanted to talk about like how bad of an industry, if you want to compare Disney to something, we can compare it to Nintendo. I think Nintendo is arguably worse.
No.
What?
Really?
They're bad, but they're not even close.
Well, they're very litigious and very
They're
protective
They're just
of
not
everything.
as
Brother,
dominant,
they've-
though. They're just they don't represent
okay.
as large
in terms,
of a.
I'm not talking in terms of influence. I'm talking in terms of within the power that they hold proportionally. Like Disney isn't filing a lawsuit for some niche thing that year of like literally what happened with Pal World. Nintendo filed a patent for throwing a ball at a creature, and then
Yeah, but they were in there. But that was in
before
their
Pal
right.
World was made.
In fact, they
Well,
won.
no, I guess here's the
Good
thing:
lord.
is I think the like it's saying they're just as bad. There's plenty of overly
No,
litigious,
I'm not saying they're just as bad. I'm saying
there's plenty of
like within their own influence.
overly
they're as bad.
litigious
Don't-
companies. I think that the core differences are, first of all, I mean, I know this is going to sound stupid, but I think it's true, is that they don't represent cultural rot. I think that they actually still do make really good products. They're entirely apolitical as far as I'm concerned. I have zero clue
No,
what they think.
well, yeah, politically speaking, I think they're a lot better. But I think in terms of general policy and the way they treat both their own consumer, they're very what feels like anti-consumer.
And they just
Like, they
don't
make a
own
product
as
that
much.
you-
Like let's look up
Yeah,
what
they don't own as
percentage. What percentage of
Just look up value of net value.
gaming industry? Nintendo. One could make
yeah, Nintendo's
29. 29 is pretty big. Oh wait, hold on. Nintendo, Microsoft, and Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, which have 29% of the market. So that's actually like each one is really small in comparison to what like the
no
Disney
no,
having 40
I'm not saying it's
on
as
its own.
bad. I'm saying okay.
Oh.
Just to clarify, I'm not saying they're as bad. Obviously, Nintendo's reach versus Disney's reach is two very different things.
The low taper fade
But-
is still really big.
Huh? What'd you say?
Sorry, it's 1 in the morning.
Good lord.
Please.
Okay.
I just the low taper fade is still
I don't know.
really big.
I guess it's anecdotal. I feel like I hear about
It's massive.
I feel like I hear about Disney doing some crazy shit for legal reasons. Like they went to Brazil to get an emulator guy. They basically turned
mean
a guy with
Nintendo?
the last name of Bowser into a slave for
Yeah.
emulation.
Nintendo. You mean?
They
You said Disney.
like,
you said,
shut down
you said
tournaments and
Disney,
stuff
you meant
for
to say
their-
Nintendo.
yeah, Nintendo. They do
Michael,
this.
They
that's
shut
really
down
cool and all,
tournaments.
But what if Ninja got a low taper
Oh,
fade?
good lord. Well, and then there's the
What
Pal
if
World
Ninja
thing. And I
got
just
a
feel
low
like
Sorry.
taper fade?
I don't know.
Shut up. Holy fuck.
Those who know.
I just do feel like they weaponize the legal system a lot more. At least. Actually, Nick, do you know how much does
He's
Disney
really fucking
legalize
choked, holy shit.
utilize the legal system to like bash people over the head?
Nick is fucking cackling in the other room. You can't hear
Oh,
him.
he's just fucking
Stop
goofing.
pausing this, please.
Pausing.
I think you have enough like.
Oh yeah,
I'm
we
so
have
sorry,
enough
Tyler
time.
Simon
Landon,
at this point.
like,
We can go
Landon
goofy mode. I
garnishing
don't
that
really
with
care.
the no fucking zippy over the head.
I mean, what was? I think if we can just get whatever Michael was saying
Oh my
just
God.
now, and
This is
what were you saying?
stupid.
Well, how much does Disney weaponize the legal system? How much? Like I don't have a frame of
Yeah,
reference for that
I
one.
think that's another
Is
thing.
Disney litigious?
Yeah.
I would assume so, but that would just be an assumption based on their size.
Yes, Disney has been involved in several lawsuits and legal disputes, including wrongful death lawsuit, animal cruelty, data breach, negligence lawsuit.
Okay, actually, this sounds like they're not litigious. It sounds
just
like
sounds
people
like they're
are litigious
incompetent.
against
Well,
them.
Yeah, it just sounds incompetence or
they've
stupidity.
also been criticized for like using arbitration clauses to steer lawsuits away from court and stuff like that.
That is true. Like it would be hard to tell because a lot of cases probably get settled outside of court.
like the Disney Plus shit that we were talking about earlier to avoid
Yeah,
the
that's
peanut
true.
allergy shit. Like I don't think they do. I think it's more of like when they fuck up,
They fuck up,
they
and it makes the news.
what they do is to avoid getting lawsuits against them, they'll push things again, arbitration clauses, but they'll do things like that. It's not Nintendo. I'm trying to think of how to word this because that's like I'm the worst at this.
Articulating anything.
Yeah, articulating is really hard for me.
What if Ninja got
I hate you. 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 I hate you.
He's in the. Okay. Anyways,
Holy shit!
I lost
You got it stuck in my
my train of
head. You
thought.
got it
That's
stuck in my
okay.
head.
it's fine. Basically, they do some litigious work, but like if you're just gonna compare, it could be worse. It could be like I'm 90% sure that if Disney was as bad as Nintendo is, like
I think
movie tropes would get fucking copyrighted.
I think I understand.
that's how bad it would
I think
get.
I think I remember what I was like
Yeah.
getting on about was that like Nintendo uses a lot of they're very offensive. And when I say that, I don't
Mhm.
mean like they're offending someone. I mean like they're
They're
attacking.
going on the offensive.
They're
yeah.
going on the offensive uh
Oh god.
through the legal systems. But what Disney does is it's like I wouldn't quite call it defensive, more like I would call it dodging. It's a very dodgy way of using they use it to avoid um accountability on numerous circumstances on numerous levels and stuff. Like I think that's the real difference. I'm of course I'm not saying that Disney doesn't, you know, do the same kind of shit. I mean they have the same copyright like problems that Nintendo does where they'll you just hear it a
No,
lot more from Nintendo, but
I'm
I
pretty sure
don't
there
think
was a case where Disney quite literally went up to a hospital that had like Spider-Man and Iron Man on the wall and was like, "Take that shit down." Nuh-uh.
yeah.
It's like, huh?
Well,
Like I think they do some of that,
do.
but I think usually the problems with Disney is more. I feel like the thing they get a lot more flack for is when something political happens, or they just royally screw something up, like the Moana situation where they're like, ah, yes, camp of Uyghurs getting genocided. We should make a movie here.
You say Moana. That's not what it was. It was
Oh, I said no, not Moana.
it's
God
Mulan.
damn it, Mulan.
I
Good
was
lord,
I was about to make
Moana.
a joke. What can I say? Anyway,
Was it Seb? Oh my god, Nick, did you not just hear what this motherfucker just
What do you
said?
say?
don't worry about it.
We were talking about the Uyghur genocide, and I said Moana on accident, and then he said the fucking
What
god,
can
what
I
is it?
say except you?
Welcome.
So you're telling me that Disney is okay, or maybe even supports the genocide of Muslims? I wonder what other group would. I'm gonna consider this.
Okay.
Well, is there
That's a thinker.
anything else? I guess this would also be a good time to.
No, I think that
Do we want to
covers it.
add anything just for the sake of adding more time and talking about something?
Yeah,
or-
I got
go ahead.
something.
Oh.
Nick, this is for you actually. That feeling when low taper fade is tomorrow.
No, so true.
Those who snow. Okay. Snowden.
So are we going to go back to doing like actual like uploads onto the podcast? Because I would be down.
We could like
desire
I
the
for
change.
the
Knee
time I'm
surgery
here,
got a
at least.
low taper fade.
What if Ninja got a low taper fade?
April 7th was the first episode.
Those who
April
still want it.
22nd was the
Those who still
those who
want it.
still
Those who knee surgery grow.
Dude, you just said the fucking.
No, he didn't. Oh my god, you're autistic as
grow.
fuck.
That is
Oh
what
my
that.
Stop
God.
spurging.
Stop
Stop
No, that's-
spurging.
No, my goodness.
Stop spurging.
You are hearing where you want to hear them.
So
It's
like-
crazy.
I am a spurgin.
Selective hearing.
I only hear it so much. I wonder why.
That feeling when knee spurgery tomorrow.
Dude, I just that made me that put me on a train of thought, and then I look at the chat and it's just Andy saying question mark.
All right, can we stop the recording now?
Yeah, we can stop.
Yeah, sure.
I got a lot
Fuck
of
me.
CEOs to expose right
Wait,
now.
real quick, Duncan, I'm giving you one last thing to cut out. What if got a low taper
Dude,
fade?
that's a hive mind. I tried to send that, but Discord stopped me because of no November.
Oh, goodness gracious.